have my coffee.
Yeah.
Are we holding on to the coffee?
Don't mind.
Are we doing straws?
No. Just gonna drink out of it.
Okay.
Do you want a straw?
No, it's fine.
I mean, I get your straw. Here's your straw.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Welcome to the You Plus Coffee podcast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Excited to be here. Thank you.
Where do we start?
I don't know.
I feel like I have so many questions and so many things we could talk about. I feel like it's going to be me interviewing you.
That's fine.
Most of the time.
That's cool with me.
Okay, let's start off with the name You Plus Coffee, because you came up with that name. So why is this called You Plus Coffee?
I've always had the idea of doing a pod and naming it You Plus Coffee because great conversations start with a cup of coffee, in my opinion. Yeah, it's always been in the back of my mind, and I never really pulled the trigger till now.
Yeah, I know. I've always wanted to do a podcast also. Like, I love podcasts. I used to have a blog back in the day, and I don't know how many people actually read it, but I know.
One.
Yeah, it was like one person for sure. Stephanie, shout out. She really encouraged
Well,
me.
they make that two then.
Oh,
'cause I
two.
read them too. So whatever.
So yeah, the podcast, the blog, I loved writing. I'm a writer with a lot of typos. That should be my nickname, writer with typos. I like that. Anyway, so yeah, when we started dating, no, it was before we started dating that I helped you with the Instagram, right? Yeah, so he had an Instagram called You Plus Coffee. It's still out in the world. If you look it up, it's still there. So I started helping him, like taking pictures of coffee, because in LA, we're originally from LA, we used to go to a lot of coffee shops. And
we lived at coffee shops.
we lived at coffee shops.
Yeah.
And so we'd take pictures of coffee and stuff, and then it just kind of died.
Well, COVID happened.
COVID happened, but we were still going to coffee shops.
Yeah, but I mean, we weren't like, yeah, I guess so.
We were still going.
True.
Every Sunday, we'd go after church to
that's true.
Enchanted. Shout out Enchanted. And then, yeah, fast forward, we living here. And then I have my Instagram. She's Redeemed. And so I wanted to do like a podcast with She's Redeemed, but I just never pulled the trigger. And then it just kind of died. Like, I think we always wanted to do a podcast. We just never really knew what to do, what to talk about. But ever since we got married, we've been wanting to do one.
Right.
And then when we went to Tennessee, and I think Elle asked the question, what if you had a podcast, what would you name it? And we both were like, You Plus Coffee, like instantly. And then Stephanie, we're just gonna like shout out all my friends right here. She was the one that was like, do this. Please do this. I love the name. You guys need to do it, yada, yada, yada. And so I think we started taking it more seriously once she kind of ignited that spark in us to do it. And so basically what we are going to be talking about, everything that I do, I try my best to bring honor and glory to God, because if it's not for the Lord, like, we're absolutely nothing, and he is such a crucial part of our story. And so this is going to be a little bit of Jesus talks, faith talks, marriage. We've been married for 3 years, and that's what this episode is kind of going to be about our individual testimonies and our marriage testimony. So it's going to be conversations over coffee. We're always going to have a coffee in our hands because we're both coffee lovers. We bought an espresso machine during Good Friday, and it was a steal.
Good Friday?
It was good. Black Friday. It was on Black Friday.
I mean, it was a Good Friday when we got it, so yeah.
It was during Black Friday. We got a really good deal on it. So we try to make coffee every single day. We try. It doesn't always happen. But eventually we would love to partner up with either local coffee shops or coffee shops and try to review coffee. So if you guys know anybody who would be willing to sponsor a video, we'd love to do that. And that's, I think, the goal, to eventually do that. So anyway, that's
Shout out
a little...
Goddess and the Baker.
Yeah, this one's Goddess and the Baker. It's in Brookfield, Wisconsin. that's probably our favorite coffee shop. We haven't gone to coffee ever since we bought this thing. We haven't gone to coffee shops in a long time.
Yeah.
Granted, there's not a lot around us, but then again, we haven't really done homework, which I have been doing homework lately. So
Yeah, true.
yeah. Anyway, so we've kind of rambled on a little bit about why we started a podcast, what it's going to be about. I think we do want to talk on current events. I had someone say, Stephanie, say that she wanted current events, but I personally am not good at current events. So maybe that's a little more your department because you're a little more informed than I am.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I got you.
Yeah, maybe if you guys want us to talk about a certain subject or whatever, we can ask questions on Instagram and stuff. So yeah, we have a couple good things lined up. And yeah, so why don't we get started with our testimonies? We can do individual testimonies first.
Yeah.
So I've already talked a lot.
You want me to go?
Yeah.
Oh, sweet. Okay. Okay, my name's Adrian. Born and raised in LA. Started going to church when I was in 3rd grade. My parents became believers. It's been a crazy 33 years of my life, but it's been fun. It's been great.
Were you always a good little Christian boy?
No, I was not. No, but I knew how to play the part, which is the scary part. Yeah, so I was a goody two shoes at church, and then in the streets, I was
the word on the street.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, through church, like I probably have some of my best friends just, back in LA. We game sometimes. Yeah, just the transition out here has been interesting and crazy and fun and even more crazy. Like driving in the snow is no joke. But
not.
Yeah, it
we
sucks.
Almost died.
Yeah, we did twice.
Yeah. You grew up in the church.
I did.
You played the role.
Yeah.
How did you play the role? What were you doing at church that you played a role?
Oh, just the Christianese. I knew how to say what to say.
Were you serving in church?
I was serving in church, yeah. I was in the church band for a bit.
So you were on the worship team.
I was on the team.
Living a double life.
Living a double life. Incognito mode. Yeah, I mean, it was just, it's crazy. Life is a trip. God's good, though, all the time. All the time. And I mean, I'm grateful that I'm still following, when people weren't in my corner to keep following. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, it's been really, really cool.
Yeah.
Just getting to know Jesus more, getting to know who he is more, having a great group of guys in my small group too that just follow up and give you all the deets and everything. It's been cool.
Yeah. What was your come to Jesus moment? This is so good. I love this story.
My come to Jesus moment was, so I used to do substances back in the day, and I'm not proud of it, but it's stuff that happens. And
how long were you doing them for?
Freshman year of high school till the start of my senior year is when I stopped. Yeah, I know. I had that moment with God where it's like, all right, God, if you're real, do this, And I literally told him, I was like, if you're real, show me that you are real. Show me that that you are the God that you say you are, And God has a sense of humor, and he really humbled me. He really let me know what's up. And after praying that, the next day, the house where I used to get my substances from got raided. And yeah, that was scary. Well, both scary and awesome at the same time, because that's when I knew all right, God, we're in this for the long haul.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's been really cool.
Yeah. And has your walk been straight since then?
It has. I mean, it's not perfect.
Yeah.
It's not perfect. It's still a battle every day, no matter what.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's been a lot better than.
Yeah. You kept trucking along. You kept following the Lord. You never, in Spanish, it's nunca te desviaste.
Right.
You never
derailed.
Yeah. Like you stumble.
Yeah, of course.
Because we're not
perfect. You always fall and you always do the thing, but
Okay, I guess that's fair to say.
Yeah.
That's fair. Yeah. All right.
And then here we are.
Yeah.
What about you?
I'm Jocelynne. 2 N's and an E. Jocelynne. I grew up in a Catholic home, and I went to Catholic school on and off from K to 8th grade. So I always knew God. Like, I knew who God was. I knew the basics. I never had a relationship with Christ, though. And I remember going to school, and they would ask us these questions, like, could God build a rock so big that he himself cannot move it? And I'd be like, no, he can't.
Typical Sunday school question. Let's go.
So like I would get stumped because it's like, what's a double negative?
Right.
Like, and I don't get it. Like, God can build a rock that big, but then he is able to move it. So like, it doesn't make sense, you know? But now as an adult, I can say that. At the time when I was like in 7th grade, like I couldn't answer the question, you know? And so I always knew there was more. Like, I always knew there was something more. I longed for a relationship with Christ. I had like set goals and things that I had told myself, like, I'm going to wait until I'm married and I'm going to do this and I'm going to do that. And that did not happen. In high school, started dating this guy, and he was a known player, but he was on the football team. I don't think you know this.
Oh boy. All right.
This guy was like my first kiss, my first boyfriend, my first everything.
Sure.
So I was just this dumb little girl, like in love with this fool, to be honest.
Yeah.
Whatever. So he broke my heart, and it was just like a toxic relationship, like from junior year to senior year, you know, a little bit after senior year. And then finally, like, we cut it, and then whatever. And it was hard. Like, it was really hard. Because of that relationship, some things went down with my dad and his ex-wife, and that's a whole nother story that we can get into. But that guy caused a lot of pain, like, in my life. And like I said, a lot of stuff came out. So in a way, it's like God exposed a lot within my family. But I didn't see that at the time. Like, I'm seeing it now that I'm talking about it.
Right.
And we're all healed from that. Praise the Lord. I have a great relationship with my dad now. He's hilarious.
Yeah, he is pretty funny. He is pretty funny.
But anyway, so then after, in 2012, I started dating this guy, another guy. And so like I've had like 2 with you, 3. You're my 3rd serious relationship. But like I've had like 2 serious relationships before you. And so I started dating this guy, and he was an atheist. And he told me that, like, I'm an atheist. And I was like, well, I'm Catholic. Like, it's fine. I don't care. Like, we'll make it work.
Sure.
We dated, and we were together for a while. But again, like, just like toxic, like just very toxic. He had a lot of issues that I was trying to fix.
Okay, yeah.
Like, a lot of issues that I could not fix, but I wanted to fix them because I wanted this relationship to work so bad. Like, and
so
then,
you were just doing it for the relationship, or you were doing it for you?
I think both. Like, I wanted the relationship to work, but then I cared about him so much that I wanted him to be better. But like, it's like he was comfortable being how he was. And I was trying to prove to my family, like, oh, he's not what you think.
Okay.
And so like, I was trying to, like, everybody around me would tell me, like, you deserve better, you deserve this, you deserve that.
Me.
Yeah. There's gonna be some guy in the future. Well, they did say that, but obviously. So, you know, we ended up breaking up and it was like on and off relationship. And then I remember, like, I had a friend, a really good friend. She was Christian. She is still a Christian. And I would go to their house, and her mom would always be like, you guys need to go to church, and you guys need to go to church. And because I was Catholic, like, I was still trying to find my way around life. Like, I was willing to go to Christian churches and Catholic churches, and I was going all over. And like at one point, I was going to Catholic church like every Sunday.
Yeah.
Like I was on my own. Like my mom didn't tell me to go. Like I just was going, and I feel like I'm missing my grandma in this story. Like my grandma and my grandpa like pretty much helped raise me, like because my mom was a working mom. And my grandma always like said prayers with me and things like that. So that's why I knew God was real. Like never in my life did I question God's existence in my life. And my grandma and my grandpa have a lot to do with that. So fast forward, one day I'm like crying in bed, like thinking about this relationship. And I'm just like, I want more out of this. And my friend, she had shown me the song Oceans by Hillsong.
Yeah.
And she was really like,
Great song.
yeah, I mean, I have those lyrics tattooed on me. Yeah. But she had shown me the song and it literally like went in one ear and out the other. And I was like, cool. She's like, oh my gosh, how are you not in tears right now? So she was also like reigniting her walk with the Lord. And I was like, it's just a song, Jessica. Like, I don't know. Yeah. And so that night where I was in bed, I lived in Eastville at this time. I wasn't living in LA anymore. I was living in Eastville with my mom. And I would see like signs to like this church, and I'd be like, something would call me there. Like, I don't want to go, but I don't know. So one day, this is when iPhones, like they had like, it wasn't iTunes, it was like radio, like iTunes radio.
Oh yeah.
And
I remember that.
Yeah.
That's
I'm obviously a lot more detailed with my story.
Yeah, 100%.
So I just typed Hillsong because that's all I knew. Right. Like I think I knew the song was Oceans, but I just typed Hillsong. Yeah. And it was the first song that came on. Yeah. And I just started.
So that's probably like the biggest hit
at the time. Yeah, at the time, because it had just come out. I think so. It was like 2014. I was 24. I was 24 when, I was about to turn 25. Yeah. So I heard that song, and then I just listened to worship for like an hour, and I felt this peace of just like, everything's going to be okay. Like, everything's going to be fine. I ran downstairs, and I told my mom, like, I need to go to church. And she's like, okay. I was like, no, like, I need to go to a Christian Bible teaching church. And she's like, okay, fine. Like, we'll go. And I was like, oh my God, like, you'll go with me? She's like, yeah. So we went that Sunday and accepted Christ that day. And it was in December. I have the date on my phone, but every year I try to celebrate it. Yeah. And I remember that day I accepted the Lord, and I heard vividly a conviction, God's voice, whatever you want to call it. I heard, your relationship is done. And I was like, no, it's not. I can change him. Again, because like I tried fixing him. Right. A month later, 3 days after my birthday, my 25th birthday, we broke up. Like,
that's right.
Yeah, we broke up. And so I was just like, whatever. But again, like for that whole year, like it was just trying to figure it out. And I was still in sin. And, you know, I thought I loved this guy. And so I was like, you need to make it work. We need to make it work. Like, you know, we've invested 4 years. Like, how is this not whatever? And then finally, like a whole year later, he was the one. Like, I remember we said, like, our goodbye, and, like, he grabbed me, and he was just like, I don't know why I'm telling you this, but you just need to, like, I don't remember exactly what he said, but he said something along the lines, like, you just need to trust in God, or, like, you just need to pray more, or something like that. That's weird. It was the weirdest thing, and he's like, I don't know why I'm saying this. Like, and he doesn't believe in God, so he's like, I have no idea why I'm telling you this, but, like, and again, it was something along those lines. I don't remember exactly what he said, and I was just like, what the heck? So whatever. After that, we like completely stopped talking. He started dating someone, and then I was just like, all right, well, I need to move on with my life. Yeah. And then that was pretty much the end of that. And then I think I met you, and this is where our stories connect. Yeah. I met you. That happened in 2020. I met you 2 years later.
Yeah.
Yeah. So after that, like, it was just a lot of trying to find a husband, because I was like, I'm ready to like settle down and get married, and that didn't happen for a whole another couple years.
Yeah,
but
a few
years.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so I struggled a lot with that. Like, that was my sin pattern of just like trying to like find value in a guy, and like it didn't go well. And then I met you.
Yeah.
At a birthday party.
At a birthday party.
Yeah. I've never heard, I said that really loud, but like kind of transitioning into our story and our testimony. I've never heard you tell the story. So I would love.
Of how we met?
Of how we met, like.
Uh-huh.
Our.
Well, because you never let me tell it.
Because you never say anything.
I started and then you go.
No, you don't.
No. I'm like,
no, you
bro.
don't. Okay. Whatever. Anyway, I want to hear like your side of the story of like us meeting to like when we got engaged.
Oh, snap. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you feel comfortable.
Wait, what?
If you feel comfortable.
No, yeah, for sure.
Okay.
So we met at Tiffany's birthday party. Well, Tiffany and Alina's birthday party.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they have the same birthday. They're weird.
No, they're one day apart.
Same birthday. So we met there and...
Wait, pause.
Exactly what I'm talking about. Uh-huh, go ahead.
Right before I met Adrian, a month before, this is why it's so crucial, like our timing of when we met.
Right, yeah.
My grandpa passed away.
Yeah.
I'm fine.
You're fine. 100%.
My grandpa passed away, and like I remember that day, like I already was like dreading it.
Yeah.
Like that day.
You weren't gonna come.
No. Like the day my grandpa died.
Oh, right.
So like my grandparents' anniversary is April 24th. My mom's birthday is April 25th. Then my grandparents' anniversary was April 26th. I mean, the day my grandpa died was April 26th.
On his anniversary.
No.
Got it.
I messed up.
Okay.
Anniversary was 24th.
Yeah.
My mom's birthday is 26th.
Yep.
And then my anniversary was on the 26th with my ex.
Got it. Okay.
So I woke up that day already like, ugh, I hate today.
Sure.
And then my grandpa died.
Right.
Passed away. I don't like to say died. He passed away.
Yes.
So now I'm even more like, I hate this day. Like, this is the worst day. So then his birthday is May 19th. And I remember I was so like annoyed and mad with Tiffany because I felt, and she knows this, we talked about it later, but I was so annoyed because I felt like she wasn't there for me.
Yeah.
And I was just like, dude, like you're my best friend. I need you.
Right.
And my mom and I went to the grave to go visit my grandpa.
Yeah.
And I was telling her, like, I'm not going to this birthday party. Like, I just feel bad because it's Alina.
Right.
And, like, I love Alina, but I'm so butthurt with Tiffany. Like, because she hasn't been there.
Right.
And then my mom literally went, shut up, you know you're going to go.
That does sound like your mom.
Yeah.
It's 100% something.
And so I was like, ugh, fine. So I went to the birthday party. And it was the day after my grandpa's birthday. And that's why I know it was May 20th. Because it was the day after my grandpa's birthday. My grandpa's birthday is the 19th.
Gotcha.
Anyway.
Okay.
That's why that is so like, I was going through already like a hard time.
Yeah.
So the timing of meeting you was like,
Yeah.
Yeah, anyway, okay. There, continue. Tangent.
Yeah. Very.
Sorry. This might get edited out. I don't know.
Leave it in. Yeah, so I didn't know that your grandpa had passed at all. Yeah. And then I saw you, pulled up a chair, sat next to you and said, so Jocelynne, what do you do for a living?
Yeah.
And then, that's like
I got weirded
how it
out.
all happened.
Yeah, and I remember I was like, who is this guy? Why is he talking to me?
Yeah.
Like
I was even like, who am I? Why am I even talking to
but
her?
The way he pulled up the chair, guys, it was so slick. Like, so Jocelynne, what do you do for a living?
I'm pretty slick.
And so I went up to Tiffany and I was like, who's that guy? She's like, that's Adrian. And I was like, okay. And then she said some other stuff that I'm not going to expose.
Sure, yeah.
Well, you know what she said.
100%, yeah. I was there. Yeah, and then we started talking, and then we started just getting to know each other, like
Hanging
joking
out.
around, and went to Starbucks. Oh yeah, we did the circle game. That's right. I
Yeah.
almost lugged too. Did the circle game, and then we went to Starbucks. We ditched everybody. And went to Starbucks.
Yeah.
The day we
Oh, I got chills.
It's crazy. But yeah.
But you didn't like me.
Shout out Starbucks.
Yeah, that's right.
We had just met. Like.
Okay. No,
that's crazy.
What I'm saying.
Did you like me on the day you saw me?
No, you didn't like me since then. What are you talking about? No, what I'm saying is like, never mind. We'll get to that. But
Yeah.
yeah.
So we went to Starbucks.
Yeah.
And then we came back to the party. And then I think at that time, Common Ground was happening.
Because I was supposed to go, but my grandpa was sick, and so I would never go.
Yeah. And then Common Ground was happening, and I think you got invited to Common Ground.
Yeah, because it was the next day. It was the day after Tiffany's birthday party.
Because we meet Sunday. Yeah. Yeah. That was so long ago.
I totally forgot about that.
Yeah.
Completely forgot.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, so then you went to Common Ground, and then we just became like really, really like best friends.
Yeah.
Yeah, at that point.
Yeah. So our friend, like, we got really close in like 2 days.
Yeah.
Like, really close.
Yeah, which is crazy.
Yeah.
But
So I remember kind of bouncing off of that. We didn't talk for a while. And because we didn't even have each other's phone numbers, we just had Snapchat.
That's right.
Which in LA, Snapchat is a dead app. In Wisconsin, it's thriving. I don't know why, but anyway.
I don't know.
Yeah. But
Shout out Snapchat.
shout out. And then I remember you sent me a snap because then we had a streak going on.
That's right.
You sent me
back when streaks were like.
Yeah.
That was it,
yeah.
man.
And so you invited me because I think Luis took to a prayer night.
Yeah.
You invited me to a prayer night, but I was supposed to hang out with Tiffany. And Luis and Tiffany are now married. But at the time, Tiffany just liked Luis. They weren't even dating or anything.
Right.
And I remember I told you, I'm supposed to go hang out with Tiffany. And then you were like, tell her Luis is preaching. Like, she'll go.
I do remember that. That's hilarious.
So Tiffany, not too long after, is like, hey, Luis is preaching at prayer night. Do you want to go? And I was like, oh, Adrian actually invited me to prayer night. And her exact words were, LOL, he would. And I was like, what does that mean?
That's crazy.
And then she's like, he just would. And that's when I was like, oh, so this guy's like a flirt. Like, this guy.
Shots fired.
That's what I thought. Like, I thought, like, oh, this guy is like, he just.
Yeah.
Like, he's a flirt. Like, he just likes to talk to girls and stuff.
Sure.
And so, yeah. And I think from that point, that's when we started getting closer.
Yeah.
So, like, yeah, we were cool at
flirt.
Common Ground. But then, whenever that prayer night was, that's when, like, we became, like, friends. And then there was a worship night. And then that's when we became best friends.
Yeah. Is that the one with
Kevin Moore?
Kevin? Yeah.
Yeah.
Shout out Kevin.
Yeah. So and then after that.
That's such a fun night.
It was a fun night.
That night.
It was fun.
Like,
Yeah. And then after that, that's when I moved from Eastville back to my grandma's house.
Yeah.
And then I started going to LP.
Yep.
And then my life completely changed.
Yeah.
After that.
100%.
And then what happened?
Now you got it. Like, I mean, you're
You make me tell the hard part.
Wait, what hard part?
Well, after we became friends, like, what happened?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I started dating someone else. Good times. Huh?
But, like, when you were dating her, because we had,
Yeah.
before he started dating this girl, like, we kissed.
Yeah.
That's all that happened.
Right.
Up until that point.
Right.
We had just kissed.
Uh-huh.
But, like, you stand by, I didn't like you, I just kissed you.
Right.
Is this true still?
Yeah.
Oh.
Wow.
Anyway, I'm just kidding.
Whatever.
Okay, so you were just kissing me just to kiss me, but you didn't like me.
Right.
Okay. And then you started dating this girl.
Yeah.
You had us meet even, which was...
Yeah, that was crazy.
That was fun. And she didn't like me from day one.
No.
I didn't like her from day one either.
I know.
We didn't like each other, but we put on this fake, like, we're going to be best friends.
Yeah. And I was like, this is good.
Okay.
No, that's crazy. I forgot about that.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
So then you started dating her, and then we had a fallout because you lied to me.
Yep.
You lied to me at one point for whatever reason,
Yeah.
and you got caught in a lie.
I did.
And then after that, that's when our friendship got rocky.
Yeah.
Because that's when I was like, dude, like, why would you lie to me?
Right.
It just looks sneaky. So then we had our fallout,
Mm-hmm.
and we didn't talk for a while after
Yeah.
that. We didn't talk for a long time.
Yeah.
So at what point did like it click
Yeah.
to you, like this relationship isn't gonna work with her?
Ooh.
Did our friendship have anything to do with it?
Now looking back, yeah. At the time, no, because I didn't even know like what I wanted.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like with her, it was, I don't know. It was very like,
Like, did you think she was endgame?
no.
So then why date someone who isn't endgame?
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like
Okay,
I didn't
got
even
it.
know what I wanted.
Got it.
Yeah.
Got it.
So it was one of those where I was like still trying to figure it out and all that good stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So then we start talking again.
Yeah.
We started talking again. And then I remember I was the one that was like, why are you still talking to her? Like, you've been talking for 6 months. If you're not going to make it official, like, why are you still dating her? Like, it doesn't make
Right.
sense. And then I think I said, like, she's not the one. Like, I don't know who it is, but she's not the one.
Right.
And then not too long after that, I remember I had a dream. I had a dream that you came up to me and you were like trying to talk to me. And I was like, dude, your girlfriend doesn't even like me. Like, go over there. And you were like, I broke up with her. And I was like, all right, whatever. The next day, like that I wake up from my dream, you called me and you were like, I broke up with her. And I was like, that's so weird. Like, I just had a dream about that. And then we started talking again.
Yep.
And then around that time, that's when we fell into sin, no?
Yeah.
Yeah, so we fell into sin. And it's funny because, like, the way the story is told and the way I've heard it back to me, because the story has gone around, people make it seem like we were in this secret relationship and we were just, like, doing it all the time.
Right.
And I can literally count the number of times it happened.
Yeah.
Like, less than one hand.
Yeah.
But, like, it became such a...
Wait, how can you do less than one hand?
Because it wasn't that many times.
So, I get it. Okay.
Like, I can count them on my hand.
I
But
think
it's
that
like
makes
whatever. I can count the amount of times in my hand, but
Yes.
it's less than 5 times.
For sure.
I can't sit here and be like, it was exactly this time. But, like,
Right.
at the time, I was like, it wasn't that many.
Right.
But I remember, like, it happened, and then you tried to expose me without exposing me.
Oh, yeah.
So you...
No, why?
Because you're the one that tried to drag me down. You ruined my reputation.
Oh, okay, Taylor Swift, chill.
That's fine.
Yeah, I just thought that.
Why did you try to throw me under the bus? I guess is the question.
Ask that question again.
My question was, why did you try to throw me under the bus?
That's right, because I had an image to protect still.
But what was I doing to tarnish that image?
I don't know. Like in my mind, it was like, I need to not go down.
Bro, okay, because when I was approached with this conversation, it was, the way it was told to me is like you were complaining that I was too, like I wouldn't leave you alone. Like I was obsessed with you.
Right, yeah.
So like, why did you say that rather than you telling me like, hey, I need a break? Because that's not what happened at all.
No.
Like, it's not what happened at all. Like, we were both still friends. We were still both hanging out.
Right.
We were both equally invested in our friendship. But
Correct.
you tried to say that I was the one that wouldn't leave you alone.
Right.
So why would you do that? Like, wouldn't that raise more questions rather than like...
No.
Or were people approaching you
Yeah.
like, are something going on with you and Jocelynne?
Exactly, yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, people were like speculating already, like, oh, there's something going on and all that. So I was like, nah, like, you guys are tripping. Because in my mind, it was like, I have to die with the lie.
Right.
So that, one, it keeps happening. And two, it's like, I can play both sides.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So when I was approached by it, it was very like, we need to talk to you. Adrian says you won't leave him alone. Like, you're like obsessed with him.
I remember that conversation too.
And I remember I was just sitting there across the table like,
Oh, so dramatic. I love it.
yeah. Anyway. Did he tell you I went to his house the other day? And she was like, what? And I was like, yeah, the day that you and I went to go watch Jurassic World. We met up.
Yeah.
Did he not tell you that? She's like, what?
That movie's so great too.
She's like,
I love that movie.
why did you go meet him? And I was like, to talk. I don't know. Like, why would I go to someone's house at 2 a.m?
To build origami.
And she went,
Yeah.
I can't believe that. And I was like, dude, and I just spilled all the beans. I was like, this is what happened, yada, 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 yada. Yeah. And then she was in shock. She was like,
She probably still is. No.
Yeah. And then from there, we got a talk from both the young adults leader, which was Luis, and then Joel.
Yeah, shout out Joel.
Shout out to Joel. And then from there, like we were put on like their version of church discipline, but it wasn't kind of looking back at it. Like it's not.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we completely stopped talking to each other. And then I remember, like, I was, like, mad because I felt like now I had this image of, like, the harlot, and you just got, like...
A little pat on the back.
A little pat on the back.
Yeah.
And that was...
A slap on the wrist.
A slap on the wrist. Yeah. A slap on the wrist. And that's what started a lot of issues with...
Yeah.
Your family.
Yeah.
That was the beginning of our issues. Yeah, after that, we didn't talk for like a while, and then you were dating someone else, or you were trying to date someone else.
Yeah.
Through all this, you still like had no feelings for me, or were you like, I've never gotten that out of you of like when you started.
You wait
like,
for the pod?
Yeah.
Really? Whatever.
Like, I guess my question is like, when did you realize like, oh crap, I have feelings for this girl? Like, around up until that point, like there was still no feelings, and that's why you wanted to throw me under the bus, or like at what point? Because you started dating someone else, or like I don't know if you actually dated her, but I remember there was like an issue where like. People didn't want you guys to date or something like that. It was around the Monarca.
Yeah.
When we sat down and like talked about La Monarca.
Right.
Yeah.
I think there was something.
Okay.
Yeah.
Between us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I guess I didn't want to
come to terms with it.
Yeah. I was just kind of like, nah, like it's complicated now. It's going to be even more complicated.
So you liked me before you exposed me.
Right.
Got it. Mm-hmm. So then we like talked at La Monarca, and you apologized to me like for everything.
Yep.
And we started off on a clean slate.
Yeah.
And then some other little drama happened that didn't really have anything to do with us, but it affected us because it affected our friends.
Oh, yeah.
And so I left the church, and that's when you and I kind of stopped talking. Mm-hmm. Like we just randomly stopped talking. Like we didn't have a fallout. We just stopped.
Yeah.
And then you started dating someone else. Meanwhile, I've been single this whole time, committed to one person, even though we weren't dating. And he has a little playbook of people.
Whoops.
And you thought this one was the one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
At the time.
Yeah. Like you truly, genuinely were like, I'm going to marry this girl.
I thought it was.
Because you loved her, or because you were just like, I'm done?
Yeah, I think it was like, I need to start settling down. Yeah. And I think I like the idea of it.
Got it.
Yeah.
And then it was my friend. Whatever.
Dang. Okay.
Well, that's how you met. You met through me, technically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not because of you.
Yeah. I was the mutual friend between them, and that's how they met.
Right.
Well, Instagram is how they met, but I was the mutual friend on Instagram.
Correct.
And then I remember it was like a secret, because I was like, I know he's dating someone. Who is he dating? And everybody was like, you gotta talk to him.
Everybody
and I was like,
oh.
Yeah. It was like a secret, and I was just like, whatever. So then Tiffany's wedding happened.
Yeah.
Tiffany's wedding happened, and then I
wasn't there.
You were not there. You were not invited.
Nope, I wasn't invited.
You were not.
No.
Are you sad about it?
A little bit. But I get it, you know, like,
Yeah.
I was a douche, so
Yeah.
it is what it is. But yeah, I was kind of like, dang, I've known her my entire life, almost.
Yeah.
You know? But,
Tiffany and Luis, they got married. And so
yeah.
that night, I noticed that he was like, I was posting stories and Adrian was the first one to like watch them.
Yeah.
I did a little, like, let's see if this works.
Dang, you threw a hook?
I did.
That's wild.
Did you catch it?
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Yeah. I posted a story and I said, hit me up.
Yeah.
And then first thing, like seconds later,
Slid into those DMs
and was like, hey, how are you? I thought you were going to come yesterday because it was a worship night that I said I was going to go to and I didn't go.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then that's how we started talking again.
Yep.
We started talking again. Our relationship is like really complicated.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah. We started talking again. And this is over the course of like 2017, at this point it was 2019 so it was like 2 years. All this happened within 2 years. So then we started talking again. I started going back to that church.
Yeah.
We started hanging out again, building our friendship again, started getting really close. Summer came around. COVID happened. COVID. This was 2020 at this point. And then we had a friend who started hanging around a little more. And I started like, I've seen this. I think I've seen this film before. And I didn't like the ending.
One of these things is not like the other.
So she started coming around and I started noticing you guys got getting close. And at this point, I'm like emotionally drained. I'm tired. I'm like, ugh, like I'm so over this story. So then I started noticing that you guys started getting close. And because I'm so like tired, I called you out on it. I was like, hey, like what's going on with you and her? And you were like, nothing's going on. And at this point, I was full on like had feelings for you. Like I liked you. Like it was like everybody knew Jocelynne has feelings for Adrian. Did you have feelings for me? Like acknowledged I have feelings for you at this point?
Within me, yeah.
Within yourself?
Yeah.
Okay. So, yeah, so all that happened. And then I think at one point, this was before, but I remember I like told you like, dude, I'm done. Like, I'm done with you. Like, leave me alone. Lose my number. Like, never talk to me again. But we still go to the same church. Okay.
That makes sense.
That makes sense. So then I remember like I kind of started distancing myself a little bit. And then out of nowhere, she calls me and she's like, hey, like, let's sit down and talk. Like, I want to talk to you. And I was like, okay. And like you and I were still cordial, but like we weren't like, because I was distancing myself at this point. And you respected that. Like you were like, all right, like you want to be done, then be done.
Right.
But I think in your head, and correct me if I'm wrong, in your head, you were like, she's going to come back. Like
a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I remember I sat down with her and she was like, me and Adrian have a thing going on. Like he says he wants to pursue a relationship with me, yada, yada, yada. And I was like, okay, like you can have him. Like,
yeah,
I don't care. Like he's a liar. Like he lies all the time.
Right.
And so she had said like, yeah, well, he says he hasn't talked to you. And I was like, I talk to him every morning. Like, cause I think we would still like talk in the morning.
Yeah.
I was like, I talk to him every morning. I was like, so I don't know. Like, I'm telling you, he's a liar. Like, whatever. And she's like, oh my gosh. Like, I just wanted, like, I wanted to talk to you because I value you. And I just wanted you to hear from me. And I was like, dude, have him. Like, I don't care. Like, whatever. And then, so I'm telling her, like, what I'm feeling. And she goes, oh my gosh, like, you're right. What do I do? Like, how do I get over him? And I literally looked her in the face and I was like, I've been in love with the guy for like 3 years and you're asking me how to get over him?
Right.
Like, and I literally said that. I was like, I've been in love with the guy. Like, and that was the first time I said it out loud. And then, whatever. We left and I called Joel. And this is like my favorite story that Joel tells. I called Joe and I was like, I just need you to listen. I don't want you to say anything. And he went, all right. And I went off. Like, I completely went off, let off my steam. And then I was like, I'm going to go to his house and I'm going to get him by the greñas and blah, blah, blah. And he's like, you're not going to
I had
do
hair
it.
at that point.
You had hair at that point.
I did. A little bit, but I had
it. Yeah. I'm about to expose ourselves though, because I don't think Joel knows this part of the story.
Oh boy.
Oh well, sorry. Joel was like, just come to my house. Like, come, like we'll talk, whatever. And I was okay, let me just cool down, let me go to my mom's. So I had every intention to like go to my mom's and like cool down. I was too hot-headed. Like I called you.
Yeah.
And I was like, go to the park.
I was snapping.
You were napping. I was like, go to the park. And you were like, I can't. And I was like, I don't give a crap. Like, go to the park. Like, what went through your head when I said that? In the tone in which I said it.
Oh, I knew I was in trouble. Like, here we go.
Yeah.
And there we went.
Yeah. So then I go to the park. And this is how I know you were telling the truth. Because your, like, mannerisms were different. Usually, when, like, I confront you in a lie, like, you... like at the time would get very defensive. You would get very defensive, blue in the face. And when I asked you like, hey, what's going on with you and so, nothing. Like, well, that's not what she said. She told me this and this and that and that and that. And you were like, that's not true. Like, I don't know what to tell you. And I was like, I don't even remember most of that conversation, but I just remember the way I left. Like, and I remember we had a little inside joke, and it was, no. We're good. No, we're good.
We're good. Yeah,
like,
yeah,
no, we're good. And so that day, I just remember you went, are we good though? And I was like, no, yeah, we're good. And I said it like that. Like, no, yeah, we're good. And then you asked me for a kiss. You're like, can I have a kiss? And I was like, sure. And so I gave you a kiss.
That's right.
And then I left.
Yeah.
What went through your head when I left?
I don't know. There was a lot going on in my head at that point. Because it's like, did I lose you? Like, is this going to work?
What is this going to work? Like, what was
like our
this?
friendship, or like if we take it to like the next level, things
were you
like
already
that.
contemplating taking things to the next level with me at any point?
Yeah.
Okay, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Oh, you see. Anyway.
Whatever.
No, it's just like you never say that and you make it seem like it was my... Whatever, we'll get to that. But... Yeah, so then, I left. And in my head, I was like, I'm completely done with this guy. Like, I'm done. And then I was. Like, I remember I'd go to church and, like, I'd be talking to my friends and then you would come and I would literally walk away. Like, I wouldn't say anything. I would just walk away. And then Joel's wife, Edith, one day, she came up to me and she goes, Adrian keeps staring at you. And I was like, good, let him. Like that. I was like,
good, let him. Wow.
And then, we didn't talk for like another month, couple of weeks after that.
While.
Yeah, because I just stopped. And then like at the time you were very much like, well, I don't know what was going through your head, but like you didn't try to contact me either.
No. Like in my mind I knew that like we needed the space for sure.
Got it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So then fast forward, Thanksgiving weekend.
Oh, I get in a wreck.
2020.
Yeah.
Who was your first call?
The day before
Thanksgiving,
I wrecked my car.
Who was your first call?
You.
Aww.
Yeah, I called you.
I remember I was at work.
Because I knew I was going to die. It's like, send help. I knew, well, for one, I knew like it was my fault for the crash. And I knew that my parents were just going to wreck me. And then sure enough, I got wrecked. And then,
yeah. And then I remember I was like, what do I do? Like, do I leave work? Do I go take the kid home? Because I was a nanny at that point. And then after that, we went to go decorate the church. I gave you a Bible. I don't know why I gave you a Bible. Why did I give you a Bible?
I don't remember.
Did you need one?
No.
I gave you a Bible though.
Oh, I didn't need one, but I would never carry my Bible. I'd use the Bible app. And then you're like, no, you need a physical Bible, and then you got me a Bible.
Aww. Yeah, I gave you.
Have it.
Yeah, you do. It's up there. We had matching Bibles, low key.
Yeah.
So then after that, we went to go decorate the church, and then I had to wear your jacket. I was wearing leggings, and so he was like, hey, just put my jacket on. because you're wearing leggings. And I was like, okay. And that night, I remember you called me and you were like, are you by yourself? Because we still hadn't talked. I just gave you the Bible and then like gave you back your jacket. And I think you told Joel like, hey, we're not talking. Like, this is why I let her borrow my jacket, but we're still not talking or whatever. Because I think at that point we had accountability from like, we're not talking to each other. Yeah. Like, I need to not talk to him. Yep. And so I remember you called me and you were like, are you alone? And I was like, no, I have Lisa in the car. And you were like, oh, okay, well, I just want to tell you that I talked to Joel. But I could hear in your voice that, like, you still wanted to talk. Like, you didn't want to end the conversation.
Right, yeah.
And I was like, okay, bye.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, and then you sent me the infamous, this is going to sound really lame, but you didn't say lame. You said something else. This is going to sound really lame, but I miss you.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's good for you.
Nice.
Yeah. No, I think I responded something like, cool, but I'm not ready to be vulnerable yet.
Yeah.
Like, thank you for letting me know, but I'm not very, and we ended up being super vulnerable with each other that night.
Yeah.
Like, I remember we like texted all night and I cried like all night. Mm-hmm. I don't know if you cried, Mr. I Never Cry.
I shed a tear or two.
Oh, so cute. Yeah. And I think that was the first time that I told you, like, because I don't remember what you said. There was a lot that was said in that conversation, but like certain things stick out to me. And I remember I said something along the lines of like, you don't know how much it hurts to love somebody so much and them not give a crap about you back.
Right.
And then you replied and said, I'm so sorry for everything that I did to you. Like, you didn't deserve that. And yeah, there was a lot more that was said. Like, what was like, I can sit here and say, like, I felt like that was my closure. Like, that was my, all right, this is an end to this chapter. I got what I wanted. Not I got what I wanted, but I got what I needed from it. What was your feelings on that end, on your end?
It was like I said my piece. You know, it was like wherever this goes, like if it goes good, if it goes bad, like at least I said something and it's out there.
Yeah. And then I remember the next day you texted me again and I replied, I was like, I can't talk to you. Yeah. Like, I was like, we had a good conversation. Let's end it there. Like, I can't talk to you. And you were like, okay, like, I respect it. Yeah. And then that was the last conversation we had.
Was I out of town?
No, you were home because it was the night that we went to went to decorate the church.
Yep.
So that was, it must have been the last week. It must have been like either Thanksgiving week. It was Thanksgiving weekend because you had just wrecked the car.
That's right. Yeah.
And then I don't know how much later, but that was our last friend conversation.
Yeah.
Because in the next conversation,
it got wild.
I remember you called me. You were out of town that time. And it was in December. You were about to go to Mexico.
Yeah.
And we were talking. And I was like, I remember he called me. And I was like, why is he calling me right now? Like, I don't want to talk to you.
Yeah, I had like a 3-hour drive back home or something like that.
Yeah. But then I answered the phone.
That was far.
Like, I didn't want to talk to you, but I answered the phone.
Sure.
And then we talked. And like, we talked for a good while. And it was just like,
we talked for 2 hours.
Was it 2 hours?
Yes. Because I was almost home at that point.
Yeah. And I just remember it was just like old conversations, like like friends.
Yeah.
So then I asked you what happened with the mutual friend. I was like, hey, why did you guys stop being friends? And you said, oh, because she wanted more and I didn't want that. And I was like, what do you mean? And you're like, yeah, like she said that the only reason she was friends with me or that like the only reason she's friends with guys is because she is intentional about it.
Yeah, she sees it going somewhere and eventually wants a relationship out of it.
Yeah. And you're like, and I was not in the same position, so I stopped being friend. And that's when I was like, like, but I've liked you for like
and
years.
I'm your friend.
And I'm your friend. Like, why are you still here if you know that I like you?
Yeah.
And what was your, do you remember your response?
Yeah, I said, because I had feelings for you.
Is that what you,
No.
That's not what you said. That was after. That was literally after I kicked it out of you.
Yeah.
Because
I said,
what did I say? Because I said something dumb.
You said something along the lines.
Like, because like what we've been through.
Yeah.
And,
yeah. And then I went, cut the crap. I'm like, do you like me or not?
Yeah.
I was like, because this is some BS. I was like, it's like, we've been friends for so long. I was like, and you won't let me go. I was like, you need to let me go. And,
That's right.
And then I remember a week, this was important to the story. A week prior to this conversation, I was talking to my cousins and I was telling them like, yeah, I'm totally okay being single. And for the first time in my life, I meant it. Like, I remember I was like, I had just surrendered everything to the Lord. And I was just like, Lord, like I really, and I think that's why it was so easy for me to like be dismissive of you or like walk away, because I had at that point, Lord, I don't want this anymore. Like, I know you have something better for me. Like, this is not something that I want. Like, take it away. And I genuinely had this piece of, maybe like I'm just meant to just be alone and that's okay.
Right.
And so then a week later, this conversation happened, and that's when I was like, okay, like cut the crap. Like, do you like me or not? I was like, because it doesn't make sense.
Right.
Like it doesn't make sense that like, yeah, we've been through everything and you're still here. And then you literally said, fine, I like you.
I did say that, yeah.
Are you happy now? Is that what you wanted to hear? I do have feelings for you.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, so like, where do we go from here? And then you said,
But you gave me an ultimatum before I even said all that.
Wait, no. I gave you the ultimatum after.
After, that's right,
I gave you the ultimatum after
That's
because
right. So you did give me an ultimatum.
Oh my God. It was not an ultimatum.
You just said it.
Yeah. Well, I said.
You admitted to it.
I did not.
Whatever.
And so what did you say? You said, I said, okay, so where do we go from here? Like, I like you, you like me. You said something like, the reason why I never pursued you is because I know your end game and I'm scared.
Yeah.
You said that. You're like, I know that if we date, we're going to get married.
Yeah.
And commitment scares the crap out of me.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, you need to make a decision. And he's like, but it's not that simple. Like, we have a history. My parents aren't your biggest fan because of our history. Like, you know, people are going to talk. And I was like, dude, I don't know where this is going to go. Like, I'm not even asking you to make me your girlfriend. I'm just saying, let's intentionally, prayerfully pursue each other. And you were like, all right, give me a week.
Give me a week. Yeah. The famous give me a week.
Give me a week to think about it. And I was like, dude, you have till the end of this phone call. Yeah. If you decide not to, like, this is where the road ends. And then you were like, fine, let's do this. Yeah. And then I was like, I need clarification. Like, I need to hear.
I need it in writing.
I need it in writing.
Stamp it with your blood.
I need a notary signature.
Jeez.
So I had you spell it out for me. Like, what are we doing?
Did, yeah.
And you were like, we're exclusively dating.
Yep.
We're exclusively praying to see if this is.
To pursue each other, yeah.
To pursue each other. And I was like, all right. So yeah, so then we decided to like intentionally pursue each other and pray about it. And I remember
telling our friends was the funniest thing.
Yeah, I told my mom first. I was like, Mom, I gotta tell you something. And she goes, what? And I was like, Adrian and I are dating. Oh, like, we're not together, but like we're dating to see if that's something that we. And because as a Christian, like, I see it different now compared to like everything that I saw before. Like, to me, we started dating in December, but we didn't make it official until 6 months later, which we will get to that. But like, it was different because it's like, okay, I'm surrendering to the Lord. Like, we're coming together in prayer, and we're gonna see if this is end game. Where prior to Christ, I was just like, well, like, we're dating to get to know each other, and then we make it official. But we already knew each other.
Yeah.
So I remember I told my mom that, and my mom knows everything. Like, I tell my mom when I go to the bathroom, like, I share everything with my mom. And I told her that, and she goes, "Hi, Josie." She goes, "Just don't give yourself to him anymore." But she said it in Spanish.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, no, don't worry. Like, that happened. Like, that stopped years ago.
Yeah.
Like, that's not happening anymore. And she goes, okay. She's like, just don't do it again. Like, just don't do that again. I was like, I won't. Like, I promise. So then you told your parents.
Yeah.
How did you tell them? What was that experience like?
It was interesting for sure. Just because at that point, it's like they weren't our biggest fans, like being together and stuff. And yeah,
Which is funny because your parents are the ones that made us talk in the first place.
right. Yeah.
Yeah, they made us make up.
Yeah.
And then I don't think.
But they made us make up with the realization of like, that's it. Like it ends here. Kind
Yeah,
of,
I think in their heads it was like, we're Christians, you guys need to forgive each other and move on.
Yeah.
They weren't expecting us to rebuild a friendship.
To move on.
And we did. But anyway, sorry.
Yeah. Yeah, it was interesting. It was a battle for sure.
Yeah.
Like it was for sure a battle, but
Yeah.
we got through it and
Yeah.
yeah. It wasn't nice, you know.
Going. It was hard. Yeah. It was really hard. You had a curfew. And I remember I was like,
I did have a curfew.
Dude, you're 30 years old who has a curfew, you know?
But typical Mexican parents.
Which is, like, it's funny because I always lived at home. Like, even, like, living with my grandma, but I had independence.
Right.
Like, when my grandpa was alive, my grandpa would just be like, just be home by this time. If you're going to be late, give me a call. Yeah. Like, you know, like, as long as I told them, granted, I did kind of snake out a little bit, but they trusted me.
Yeah.
And so when I got older and I was paying my own bills, and once my grandpa passed away, my grandma started getting dementia. Like, I didn't have to tell her, like, hey, I'll be back at this time, because she'd be asleep by then. Like, she wouldn't. So I would, like, I had my own entrance to the house. So, like, I would just come and go as I pleased.
Right.
Unless I had to take care of her, because since I lived with my grandma, I had to, like, help take care of her. But if it was a night that I wasn't taking care of her, it was just like, well, I can come and go as I please.
Right.
Where with you, it was like, you had
Get
a curfew, get here. I want you here at 9:59 with 59 seconds, like, and not 1 second more.
Yeah.
And from my perspective, it, like, your restrictions got a lot stronger when you and I started dating.
Yeah.
And we told our friends.
Yeah.
We told our friends, and they were like, ugh, like, finally, but ugh, like, you know.
So we're just getting over the hump of, like.
We were just getting over the hump, and we had a babysitter with us at all times. Yeah. Like, shout out to Andrea. There was not one time that we didn't hang out and had a babysitter. And I would get super frustrated. I'd be like, this is annoying. Like, I just want to hang out with my potential future husband. And you were like, I don't trust myself.
Yeah.
Like, you're like, I'm protecting you, I'm protecting myself, I'm protecting our testimony. Because at this point, we had worked so hard for our testimony.
Our testimony for sure was, like, something that needed to be first.
Yeah. 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 And so then after that, that went on for a while. And then your grandma passed. Everyone went to Mexico.
Yep.
And I did the mistake of, like, let's go grab coffee.
Yeah.
And then I posted it on Instagram.
And then I made the mistake of being like, yeah.
Your brother snitched on us.
Yeah.
But Nathan also called us out. Nathan did send us a message.
We had a few people.
Yeah, like, hey, like, you guys aren't supposed to be alone together. Not even, let alone alone together. Like, I think at that time, like, your parents absolutely did not. Like, I think you were supposed to be home. Like, you were grounded or something. So rather than, like, your brother giving us a chance to, like, talk to your parents, like, he just told on us. Like, he, like, completely told on us, and then that just made things thick. And I immediately knew, like, I need to talk to them. Like, I need to talk to your parents. I was like, well, we need a break again. Yeah. Like, let's just, if this really is of the Lord, let's just not talk for a month and go from there.
Yep.
And I had so much peace letting that go, because I was like, if this doesn't work out, like, it's God closing a door.
Right.
If it does work out, it's God opening a door. And I went up to your mom. You and I weren't talking. We were, like, in each other. Like, it wasn't on bad terms this time. It was a genuine, like, here you go, Lord. Like, we're giving this up. Here you go. So I went up to your mom, and I was like, hey, I apologize. Like, I am so sorry. I made a mistake. I was trying to console him, but unintentionally disrespected you. And I did not mean to do that.
Right.
I want to invite you to pray with us for this relationship. And she really appreciated that I did that. Yeah. She did. And I'm not even going to talk about the negative side of it. I want to focus on, like, your mom just being completely. And I remember Andrea was like, what a woman. Like, you know?
And that was their standing there like, oh, dang, like, this is going down. Like,
yeah, it was just there like, because your dad came and said some not nice things, but your mom put a stop to it. Your mom eventually, like, after, I think once she started seeing, like, hold on, like, we're tearing each other down at this point, like, nope, like, here's the line, we're moving forward. Like, you and I are good. And I was like, thank you. Like, that's all I wanted.
Yeah.
And I felt good about that. Like, I was like, okay, like, maybe his dad isn't there yet, but his mom is.
Yeah.
Like we're good now. You know, I want to say she also asked for forgiveness.
She did.
Yeah. I don't, like, there was a
like
lot.
In her own way, but I think
in her
she did,
own way. Yeah. Like, I think she did. Like, And I only say that because I don't remember everything. There was a lot that happened in that conversation.
Yeah, in the span of like 20 minutes.
In the span of 20, I think it was longer.
It probably was.
But I just remember, like, me taking accountability and me saying, like, hey, I'm sorry. Like, I've caused hurt. I've caused this and this and that.
Yeah.
And so after that, like, we, like, didn't talk for a month. And then we started talking at Nathan's graduation party. That was the who me incident. Yeah. And then, like, after that, that's when you were like, this is dumb. Like, you're my girlfriend. Like, you didn't even ask me. You were just like, you're my girlfriend.
Yeah.
Like, it's official.
Took ownership.
You took ownership. And so at the time, you were supposed to move to Texas.
Yeah.
You were supposed to move to Texas.
Yeah.
And so we knew that we needed to get married. Like, well, we already knew going into it that we were gonna get married.
Right.
And the plan was you were gonna move to Texas at some point.
Yep.
And then
yeah, because we didn't know logistically, like, when.
Yeah.
Like, I was still looking at the area and still going out there.
But then you were going to come back because I was a preschool teacher. I said because twice. Because I was a preschool teacher, I wanted to finish my year.
Yep.
And then you were going to come back in the summer. So ideally, June 2022? When did we get married? Yeah, 22. So we were supposed to get married June 2022.
Yeah.
We didn't have a date set, but that was the plan.
Yeah.
Because it was going to be at the end of the school year. I wouldn't renew my contract.
That's
and
right.
then I'd just move in with you in a sense. And so then we made it official. So December we started praying. June we made it official.
Yep.
And then we're talking. We went ring shopping.
Yeah.
Because I was like, I want that one.
Yep.
And then you talked to my parents.
I did.
Did you talk to my parents or your parents first?
I talked to your parents first.
How did that go?
Wait.
How did those
Did I?
about getting married?
I called your mom first and then, no. Yeah, I called your mom first and then I called your dad.
How did the conversation with my mom go?
It was interesting. It's scary.
Were you more scared of my mom or my dad?
Oh, your mom for sure. Your mom's so intense. Like, oh my gosh, what am I doing? No, but I remember I was out of town. I was in a hotel. And then I called your mom.
Yeah.
And then, we had a very heart-to-heart moment. We both cried.
Aww.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
And then after that, I called your dad. But I think I called you.
You called me.
To give, because I didn't have your dad's number.
Yeah, and you're like, hey, can I have my dad's number? I was like, oh, he's here. And you're like, oh, let me talk to him. And I was like, okay.
Yeah.
Because I don't know what you're doing right now.
Right, yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah, and then, he told me some things, and I was like, all right, cool, like, that's fair. He kind of scolded me for a little bit, but then it was like, nah, like, you have all the right to, like, tell me these things. And nothing crazy, but yeah.
So then how did it go telling your parents?
Oh, it's interesting, too. Like, they weren't fans of it, but I had the ring at that point, and I just kind of sat everybody down. I was like, look, like, I'm doing this with or without you guys. Like, I want you guys there. I want you to be a part of it and everything, but if you don't want to be, like, that's fine too. Like, I'll find a way.
Yeah.
But they came to terms, and, they were for it and stuff, and, it was cool.
Yeah. So then that happened. And then my mom, I remember she calls me. Because we started looking at venues because I was like, okay, we have a year out.
Yeah, well, we wanted to do like a backyard.
That's
thing.
right.
Yeah.
We were going to do a backyard wedding. And then this was like, at this point, it must have been like September, like the end of September. because you proposed in October. You proposed in October.
Yeah.
And my mom calls me. I'm on my way to work, or I'm leaving work, or something.
That's right. It was a year after.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And she's like, "Hey, I know you're planning on doing a backyard wedding. I found a venue, and it's the only Saturday left."
Yeah.
And I'm like, "Mom."
For that year, yeah.
Yeah, I'm like, "Mom, I'm not even engaged. Like, that's so dumb that I'm planning a wedding and I'm not even engaged yet." She goes, "But like, it's the last Saturday." And I'm like, "Why is she like so like honed down on this?" And she's like, "I will pay for it if you get this venue."
Yeah.
And I was like, "All right, well, let me talk to Adrian."
Yeah.
And you were like, "Well, I'm not going to say no to your
I
mom."
said to your mom. Like,
Yeah. And I didn't know that he had already like talked to them. So that's why my mom was so like, "Well, yeah, let's make it happen."
Yeah.
Because she knew that the proposal was coming.
Yep.
So then
It was a week after.
it was a week after. Yeah. Yeah. It was October. So everything, like, again, it just kind of happened really fast. Like everything happened within a year.
Yeah.
So and then you proposed in October at the beach, at one of our favorite beaches.
Well, my favorite beach.
Yeah, it was your favorite beach.
Yep.
But I remember I was like, because Tiffany helped you plan it, from my understanding.
Yep.
And I told Tiffany, I was like, "I'm surprised you didn't do it in Pasadena." And she went, "Huh, that's a good point." And I was just like,
Yeah, because I love Pasadena too.
yeah,
Pasadena's dope,
we'd always go to Pasadena. We had our engagement pictures there. But anyway,
Yeah.
so then we get in the car, freshly engaged, on our way to dinner, and you drop the bomb.
I did.
What did you say?
I said, "I don't want to go without you."
Yeah. I was like, "You are
Crazy.
crazy. Like, I'm not going anywhere without getting married." Like, we worked so hard. I had hired a photographer. I changed the wedding date on the photographer like 3 times.
I know. Poor Alex.
Poor Alex. Shout out to my girl. I love her.
Yeah.
We had just put the deposit for the venue down.
Yeah.
I was like we have a wedding set like in September, and you were like, "Well, let's get married before that, and we'll just come back and have the wedding here." And I was like, "No, like, what do you mean? What are you talking about?" And so you talked to your parents, I talked to my parents, and both of them were like, "Do it."
Yeah.
Like, why wait? Like, it's just a party, but the wedding itself is just the party.
Yeah.
Like, what's important is your commitment to each other,
Your vows.
And so we talked to our pastor at the time, and he was like, "Let's do it. Pick a Sunday. We'll do it after church."
Yeah.
And I was like, "What?" Like, I wasn't even expecting that. Like, I was just expecting it to like do it like at his house.
Court.
Yeah. Like, I mean, we wanted him to do it.
Right,
Like,
yeah.
I didn't want to go to the court, but I
Right.
was thinking like, we'll just go to your house and have like a little tiny ceremony with like your parents, my parents there. And so the church like literally came together. So that happened. We had that conversation in October, and then we got married 3 days after my birthday. January. We got married in January, and then in March we moved to Wisconsin.
March we moved, yeah.
That's our story.
Yeah.
Yeah. All this to say, like, we obviously make mistakes, and we're going on 3.5 years now of being married. 3.5?
Just about.
But I wouldn't change anything. Like I said, like, even our story, and like, I love telling our story because it's messy.
Yeah.
But that just shows how God, like, my favorite word in the whole world is redemption. Like, my ministry was called She's Redeemed.
Yeah.
Like, that word really stood out to me. And like, I love the story of Ruth, like this Moabite woman who was married and she was a sinner, and then she takes a vow to follow Naomi, and her God becomes her, like, Naomi's God becomes her God, and she marries Boaz, and Boaz becomes her redeemer, and that's like a picture of Jesus and us. Like, and that's why my favorite book is Ruth. Like, I love that book. And I, like, at first, when I first read it, I was like, what a beautiful love story. And now I'm like, what a beautiful love story of like God's redemption. And so, yeah, so like, that's like why I love telling our story, because it's so messy. And now, like, I have a heart for couples who struggle with the same things that we struggled. And it's like, I've been there. And let me just tell you, like, the healing on the other side of it.
Right.
Like,
Yeah. It took a long time.
it took a long time. Like,
Yeah.
our story was what, like 2017 to 2022. It's that 4 or 5 years. Like, it was messy. But again, what a picture of like what God
Yeah.
does.
Yeah. And it's been fun.
It's been really fun.
It's been a fun ride.
Yeah, not perfect
Nah.
by any means.
And it never will be.
No. In full transparency, like the week leading up to like recording this, like we were off. Like we
Yeah.
weren't fighting, but it was just like
That's an off week.
it was an off week, and like that's again whole nother episode. But it was. I see things different now. Like I see things now where it's like, is this spiritual warfare or is it just my own sin? Because I do believe spiritual warfare happens.
For
And I
sure.
think that's what last week was.
Yep.
Like I genuinely truly think that the enemy was like trying to distract us and get us off page. So like how a bunch of hypocrites, like you're gonna come on like
Yeah.
and share God's
Yeah.
word or God's story when you're like not even aligned together.
Right.
But I have a few good friends. I only told one person about this. I was like, hey, like please pray for Adrian and I. Like we're like off. Like it's an off week. And that's when I realized like we're gonna record tomorrow. Like this is total spiritual warfare.
Yeah.
Again, there are consequences
For sure.
to sin. Like
Yeah.
your parents' issues with us, it's a consequence of the sin that we did.
Yep.
And we're still healing through that.
Yeah.
3 years later.
3 years later.
We're still healing through that.
Make it 4. Let's go.
We're gonna make it 4. And this is in no means to like disrespect my in-laws. Like I truly do love them. We're just still healing because of our sin, but that's what sin does. Like, and we don't see it in the moment, like,
Right.
you know, but now that we've matured more, it's like, oh, okay, like, let me think
get
twice.
it.
Yeah, like, I get it, and let me think twice about it. But, yeah. Anything you want to add or say? I feel
love
like
you.
I love you too. Yeah. I
It's
feel
going to
like
be fun.
Yeah,
gonna be fun.
I'm excited.
Yeah.
I talk a lot.
Yeah. That's okay.
I'm proud of myself. I didn't really interrupt.
No.
I did.
Hey. Just my story, but it's all good.
No, I added little things that.
I
Stop.
need to be a better storyteller, though.
You do. That's the problem. Is I'm the storyteller and he just AB. 2 + 2 = 4, and I'm like, no. 2
Sometimes
+
5.
Yeah, sometimes 5. But yeah, thank you guys. If you guys made it through this whole episode, I don't even know how long it was.
No, that's
I did not want it to be this long, but
It's all good. That's what a pod is.
yeah. But hopefully you guys learned something new about us
Yeah.
that you didn't know. Maybe too much.
If you have questions, ask.
Yeah. Make sure you like, subscribe to the You Plus Coffee podcast.
Yeah.
And follow us on Instagram and then on Facebook too. Facebook is a little weird because I changed the name. And then Adrian's like, I don't like the plus sign. I was like, okay, now I gotta wait 60 days to change it. Which
It is what it is.
I should have asked before I changed it.
It's all good.
That's fine. But anything else?
That's it.
Alrighty.
This
Bye,
is You Plus
guys.
Coffee.
You
We
Plus.
out.
Bye.